welcome back everyone to another day, another game, another match of DBDLeague. It is me, EdgarTheRuiner, joined by the GOAT himself, Dire Wolf, going to be casting Bubbo right now on the, Bubbo right now on the Dredge, on Midwich Memorial, sorry, not Midwich Memorial, that's Larry's, what am I talking about? It is going to be Ariandel killing first. What are we thinking of this matchup, Dire?
I'm so excited for it, first of all, because it's my first time casting with you, I believe. That's exciting.
Yeah,
the second
hell
one
yeah.
is Bubbo on the Dredge, because last week, even though Ariandel dropped into the lower bracket, Bubbo showed a phenomenal Dredge game, killing all the survivors with 3 remaining generators. He was just so on point with all the teleportation, keeping track of the survivors and not giving them any space for doing something. And it seems like Abby is building herself a house here because she should be able to rotate around. So Bubbo just taking these pallets out happily here. We will see a little bit of back and forth around this tower here, but it should be a down relatively soon. The question is, will we see a gen for it?
Yeah, gonna have to see. Obviously, this map is one pretty enclosed. Survivors may sometimes struggle to find generators here. Indoor map kind of situation. But yeah, never mind. One is going to be going over by the wayside there. If this is a Scourge Hook, timing there is very unfortunate. Any amount of time bought there did seem to help. And yeah, Bubbo going to be trying. Guessing that that was the gen that was getting pressured out. Unfortunately, rolling the roulette wheel, not quite getting it there. Build is nothing, absolutely nothing unexpected here from a Dredge that you would see. Malthinker Skull plus the Broken Doll. Charge the Nightfall quicker, have it last longer. That is the power spike of the Dredge. Abby is actually going to get saved off of the hook here. And Bubbo going to be trying to get the intercept. Seeming to half work at the very least.
Absolutely, and especially with removing a couple of strong pallets, he should feel very good into the early game here. Losing a gen for the first down is not that unusual as a Dredge, but getting the resources out of the way so easy, that is something that you can really profit later on from. And Abby is finding herself in the unwanted position when you are just going to be the tunneling target for the killer here, trying to remove her from the trial as quick as possible. Bubbo forcing her back into this room here now, kind of locking her down, and she doesn't really have a choice. She has to run right into the teleportation marker. Unfortunately for Bubbo, though, we are in the corner of the Midwich Elementary School, so the survivors having a little bit of wiggle room, going for the generators here. Sloppy Butcher not kicking in too hard yet, as we have only 1 survivor injured so far. So if they are quick enough on the gens and pull something out here in exchange for these hook stages, they might still be in a very comfortable position here.
Yeah, gonna be taking the time to get the lock off of that locker. This is one that you want to be unlocked because it is so close to the hook. You know that the moment that hook comes off, then there's gonna be TP right back there. Gonna be going for a bit of a wild swing. Ducky gonna be ducking that one nice and clean. No issues there at all. Jen gonna be clean on the other side. And now Bubbo gonna be using those teleports. Get the killer instinct. Find where all of the survivors are. You don't need information perks on the Dredge. You are an information perk on the Dredge. Simple as that. We're going to be breaking out of that one here, realizing this gen still going to be pressured out here. Did see the killer instinct, actually opting not to go there, instead going back to the hook. So, you know, showing where the priorities lie here for Bubbo. It has yet to be seen whether or not that will be paying off.
And I liked how you mentioned it, like you are basically the information perk because you have so much to profit on. And I'm a little bit worried because we see Spider there in the hallway not tackling a generator and Ducky taking an injury, but Abby still dying on the hook. And usually when you say goodbye to your teammate, especially your team captain, you better want to get some pressure into these objectives, but unfortunately only 1 survivor doing that at the moment. So the generator efficiency dropping a little bit on the side of Misery here. We can only hope that Spider found his way to the gen. It seems like he did, but now he will be in chase in the courtyard. There's no house possible anymore on the tower, so he can only hold W away. Now we have 2 injured survivor with the Sloppy Butcher, and with all these teleports from Bobozato throwing off these survivors, we might have someone who's eventually running into the killer and will be downed. Important for Misery is now that they really prevent that, especially the 3rd injury here.
Yeah, Bubbo a veteran in the game and still realizing that yes, you do in fact have to kick down a breakable wall, not hit down a breakable wall. Happens to the best of us, mate. Don't worry about it. Now that is everyone injured up, and Eruption is on a couple of these generators as well. So yeah, you are really looking to charge up this Nightfall to get that information, because you can lock down the target very easily here. Drop on the pallet coming through incredibly early from Spider. Now it's time for the mind games, but once again, this is good fundamental survival play. If you're against a killer with pretty strong short-range anti-loop, you just run away, and that seems to be very effective right now. Just running away, the best thing that you could possibly be doing. It seems to be working out for the survivors currently. Yeah, nice use of the power here, however, and yeah, Ducky going to be locked down, and that's the Eruption popping off all over the map. Actually not going to be opting for another Scourge, but instead going to be opting to rush out the gems, and yeah, just kind of finding another survivor by the wayside. Not entirely expected there from Bubbo, but some of the best things in life can be complete surprises.
Absolutely, and these surprises start to kick in. Velen is the next one who's going to face a very unexpected teleport from Babo here, and he's just holding it, waiting until last second until the vault is forced. Luckily for Misery that they are quick on the pickup here, but Babo knows exactly where the survivor was down, so immediately going back through the locker there, going to be the tail of Ducky here. Spider is in the responsibility to pick up a villain here, so no pressure anymore on the generators. There's going to be a quick catch onto Spider. Game sense 2000 coming out by Babo, expecting that he would use this hallway here to reach the pick up survivor, and that is now very, very difficult because Ducky rather needs to hide and runs into Babo as well because he's not expecting it. Actor, this is insane.
Oh my god, Bubbo, what did you have in your cereal this morning, bud? Absolutely crazy gameplay coming out. Almost has a psychic read on where these survivors are at any time. Everyone down. We're looking at a without some kind of miraculous hatch play coming out, we're looking at a 4K 2 gens done. What the hell are you doing, Bubbo? You aren't meant to do that well.
This is crazy performance. I mean, we were kind of hyping it up, saying last week he basically did the same, but pulling it just casually again, and it didn't even look like he has to fight for it, or he's sweating off on his gaming chair. He was casually finishing this trial in 4 minutes, having all the survivors. Like, the only one who matters now is Spider, because Spider is a fresh hook, so if Spider would bleed out, we would have the 3 hook stages, but not the fresh hook stage for the 3rd win condition. So this is the only thing that would matter now if Spider manages to bleed out here, but Babo has 3 minutes to scout the map. He even has the teleportation, so I doubt that we'll see the bleed out here, even though he's currently looking for the survivor downstairs. But this is proving the quality of Bubazafra when we can announce that it's going to be a strong killer game like last week, and he's delivering it by 120%.
Yeah, sometimes you expect nice things and they'll let you down, and then you see Bubbo playing killer and you're not getting let down in the slightest. Just going to be power out here again, looking around for Spider. As we've said, the game is won here, realistically. It's just a case of whether we're going to be sitting here for the last 2 minutes of Spider's bleed out timer to watch him slowly bleed to death, or whether he's going to get put on a meat hook and sacrifice to the entity. Neither of them seem like particularly fun options, to be perfectly honest, so, you know, there we have it, I guess. I was still just going to be looking around here, but yeah, what a dominating performance. I think it's, as I mentioned earlier, like, obviously, yes, the fundamental use of power in Chase was strong, never really seemed to mess up or with any use of the Remnant at these short loops, but... Oh, and there's the hatch. Oh, I do. But I think, as I was saying, yeah, I think the most impressive thing was just the awareness of all the survivors' positions. It was totally locked down. Just Bubbo just kind of knew where everyone was at any given time, was getting picture-perfect teleports to intercept the survivors running away, downing them all during a single use of Nightfall, and Bob's your uncle. You're just winning the match off the back of that. Not a win yet, obviously, but it would be a bit of an upset to get a better result than this if you are Team Misery.
Absolutely. I feel like Babo doesn't even... Either he doesn't know about the fresh hook when Spider bleeds out, or he doesn't care.
Bubbo has gone to get a drink. But Bubbo just got some Uber Eats delivered right now.
Yeah. I mean, he deserves it. He deserves it totally. I also laughed at the hatch, even though it's RNG on Midwich, literally just spawned under him because I feel like it was so deserved. Even the game said, well, if you play such a phenomenal killer game, well, then take the hatch on top. We will not take anything from you. So I really, really liked that he got that lucky, and I really think he went to take a short break. Spider is going to award 3 hook stages to the killer, but not the fresh hook. So in case we would have a 4K on 3 generators, Ariandel would actually lose this due to the 3rd win condition, but I do think that Ariandel is confident enough to go for the 3 generators here, which is just an absolute dream win condition. We will have a very exciting Survivor game ahead of us. Misery needs to make a miracle happen on the killer game. We'll see how that goes after the break. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Ducky needs to make a miracle happen because we do need a 4K on 3 generators standing. In the other way around, that means that Ariandel, Survivor, Arima, Excise, Hartwell, and Bubuzava only need 3 generators to win this trial and take the first set point. And Excise already dropping that very strong pallet early. Ducky trying to force the teleport, goes into the locker, and that is going to be enough time for Excise to vault it back. So no injury being taken as he tried. We do see Pop goes to Weasel, a sloppy butcher. So the strategy is to apply a ton of pressure on multiple survivors here and profiting from them. And I can tell that is going to be difficult against Ariandel's Survivor here, especially with that win con.
In a game that takes so much inspiration from traditional horror films, it's surprising how much splitting up is actually really effective in this game. And Ducky going to seem to agree with me, thinking that split pressure is going to be the key to victory there. But speaking of victory, that was a hell of a parade going off for Bubbo, you know, eating a hit and bleeding profusely, which I guess happens to the best of us. Not committing to this chase though, instead going to be focusing on what matters the most, the gens. Yeah, that one almost... Yeah, listening to the progress, that sounds about 50% or so, so pretty good progress on that generator is going to be coming through. Hardwell was actually going to be pressured here on also a new survivor.
Now we have Bubuzava already healed, so Ariandel not even just pushing through, being like 3 generators, let's just go with the hat through the wall, forcing and pushing these generators to the limits. They even take the time to deny the 1 injury with the sloppy butcher we had from the early game. 2 minutes are over, so Corrupt Intervention is now going to expire, meaning that there's access to all the 7 generators on this map. A little bit of a kick here, unlocking the locker. Oh, this I remember from the first weekend that this was very difficult to speak when we have locking lockers and unlocked lockers where we can teleport to a locker. Let's not get into that again. Hardwell being found here.
Blocking the unlocked locker though?
No, I didn't, and this is getting complicated. But we don't have an injury yet, Actor. This is not how the perk build is supposed to go.
Yeah, not really good with the add-ons either, because your add-ons, you increase the amount of Nightfall that you get when survivors are injured. By not having these survivors injured, you get Nightfall less and less. You also don't take advantage of the Green Doll add-on to actually have that last for longer. This is going to be a very late Nightfall coming through. None of these gens actually completed yet, but just going back and forth between all of them, you can see how much pressure there is. And I think most crucially, if you don't have an injure, then you don't realistically have a shot of downing anyone to get Eruption on these very progressed gens. So Chase is going to be coming through, but Rima not going to be getting any shenanigans online. Just going to be running this one through normally. And yeah, this is holding for so long. And oh my God, steel nerves there from Arima. Eventually it is going to be eating the hit there. But yeah, that's 1 gen already done. A third of the way to victory are Ariandel now.
Insane Survivor gameplay after an insane killer gameplay by Bubuzava here. Ducky, don't want to sound too negative, but seems a little bit overwhelmed here. We talked about the perk build. We have a sloppy butcher that is supposed to apply a lot of spread pressure across the team. We have a Pop Goes the Weasel that needs very early hook stages if you want to make it count towards the win condition. We don't have any of that at the moment. We do get another stun, and there's the second generator, as you say, 66% of the win con already achieved. Just one more objective in the first set point has been taken by Ariandel here. This is now Bubozava also circling around these tiles, even though he might get an injury here. There was still a lot of time being wasted for the killer here. We need a teleport towards these generators, otherwise there will be the win condition very soon. Ducky is deciding to go downstairs into the locker. Bubozava anticipating that in the perfect moment. Oh, that's going to look disgusting! Someone call behavior!
Gravity is a harness, and Ducky has just harnessed the harness right now. My lord, disgusting behavior there. Finally getting a little bit of eruption value coming out. Pop is going to have to be perfectly placed here to deny value. And sure as hell ain't going to be placed there. That ain't been touched, mate. So, still going around. This one, yeah, a lot of progress on it. But that lock, that could be buying the time. That's the third gen done. That is the win in this series for... That is the win in this series for Ariandel. I mean, obviously, you can say what you will about Ducky and Survive performance, etc., but it was Bubbo's Dredge that won this series for them. Completely masterclass in gameplay. I know that we are giving a whole lot of very nice treatment right now to Bubbo, but I mean, come on, did you watch the last set? Jesus Christ.
It's incredible, especially with the context of last weekend. So it's not even that it was like one shining trial that is outstanding, or that we can say like, Babu got lucky or something like that. No, he played the exact same way last week already. So we could go into this match, we could say, well, we are hyped for Dredge because Bubozava is going to play it, and he just delivers exactly what he did last week. So this is consistency there as well, and this makes him such a valuable and such a skilled player. Axa is going down eventually here on this pallet. That is going to be hook stage number 2 coming out in this trial here. 3 generators still standing, but I wouldn't be surprised if we go into the end game soon here, because the other 3 survivors had a little bit of time now to work on these objectives. However, we need to keep in mind Ariandel is staying on the survivor side also for the upcoming set. So the best thing that can happen for Misery now is that somehow you apply pressure on the survivor team, somehow you keep Ariandel under control, making sure you show them we will catch you in the second set, because if you let them escape with this momentum, the second set will also be very, very difficult.
Yeah, Teleport going to be coming through down here to try and catch Bubbo out, but a little bit too far gone for that. Instead, going to be chasing. Yeah, and apparently this is a new survivor by the name of Sage. So, hello Sage, welcome to the Killer's Realm. You're instantly just going to get hit and then start bleeding profusely. Happens to the best of us. Don't even worry about it. Teleport's going to be coming through. Nightfall has been active for a hot minute now, so that Killer Instinct is going to be proccing. Yeah, Killer Instinct is going to be proccing here, but so is that generator. And yeah, this is not really looking good for Ducky. Obviously, the series was already lost, but there's still pride on the line here. There's still, you know, something to play for, something to be trying for right now. And yeah, Excise is going to be going second stage. Bubba is going to be eating the hit there. So if opting to actually rescue Excise, then yeah, Bubba's going to have a hell of a time actually getting out of this situation. But doesn't even seem like that's going to happen. Tunnel more than likely now.
Yeah, that's going to be a little bit of a punishment for Axis here for the good looping he was showing before, getting him out of the trial here. Babbo, Hartwell staying injured, so I would assume the survivors are cranking the final gen, and that's what's happening. End game being reached by these survivors. That's going to be Excise onto the hook, and we're saying goodbye. 4 stages so far. Now they are going for the heal, keeping it safe, making sure that they will take all the stages out of the door here. The non-injured survivor already preparing the gate. Arima there it's actually the Bubozava going for the exit gate here. The other 2 are healthy, so we can expect them to leave as well, and that is leaving a 4K on 3 gens versus 4 hook stages. What a dominant performance.
Really interesting. I do believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the losers bracket, correct?
Yes.
I have no idea how Ariandel managed to get down here. I mean, I guess that can kind of happen in your earlier matches, you know, you're feeling the pressure a little bit, fumble the bag slightly, because right now Ariandel look to be on top of their game. If anyone's going to be making it through all the way through the loser bracket, getting to our eventual grand finals, then it's got to be these guys. Let's be completely honest. Obviously, phenomenal game there. Congrats Ariandel on their victory there. It is going to be Misery starting on the killer next time with the Mastermind pick. We'll be back after a very short break, so let's see if Ariandel can close this out or Misery can start mounting their comeback.
Welcome back, everyone. We're going to spectate the Mastermind, played by Misery, and we better have a very, very strong killer performance here, since Ariandel took the first set points with such dominant performance. We also have the very dangerous FBI survivor there, so that's going to be one hell of a team together with Detective Tab coming out here as well. So far, we're going to spectate Bubazavre once again. Big shout out for his Dredge performance, now going to show off in the early game on his survivor skills. Going for a good run so far. 1 minute is about to expire soon, and it seems like our killer realizes that took too long. So we are rotating back towards the active generators. Probably a good decision here.
Yeah, gonna be running it back. Interesting choice of add-ons here. Yes, it's quite common to see the green add-on to increase the infection timers, but going for the Unicorn Medallion, your first bound is going to be longer, the second bound is going to be shorter, and yeah, I guess having a longer first bound can help. Seems to have worked there, getting that infection onto hardware, which is going to be ticking up faster and faster. Could become a factor in these protracted chases, but even more likely just forcing survivors to, you know, play earlier. And that is going to be... Oh, the jukes coming through! My god, Hardwell quick on their feet right now. Is it going to be enough? Is there anything to work with here, this window? But yeah, very patient play there from the killer, just waiting till the very last possible second to get this off. Pickup going to be coming through, and likely going to be slapped on a Scourge hook.
That's a good start still, but we already lost one generator here. Never mind,
no!
2 generators already completed. I was about to say, like, if it's 1 generator for this first hook stage, well, then it's kind of okay, but 2 gens for the first down, that is very, very hard.
Yeah, incredibly so, and now you're in a rough position. Ideally, you would just, you know, do your standard comp killer gameplay. Just get the first survivor out, make sure that they end up dying on the hook, and then waiting, and yeah, just chilling after that. But with 2 gens already gone, that becomes a lot less of a reliable strategy, because remember, it's 2 minutes to let someone hang, and yeah, it's not actually going to happen here. Not really going to be camming this out. Could be going for the tunnel instead. That's also more of it seems like a bit of a better option for you. You can do the same thing, but in slightly less time. But that does also rely on getting quick chases after the fact, and obviously, Hardwell's infection meter did drop a fair bit when being unhooked. That add-on is going to make it a little bit faster. That 8% hindered can make a big deal, but also has a lot of resources to work with here. Has actually used the pallet on this crane, however, so that could be a bit of a problem. Yeah, that 8% slowdown is going to be coming through now. And yeah, it doesn't look like living very long. Just hopping in the locker to buy as much time as possible. Wesker, why are you so cheeky when you pull someone out of the locker, man? What the hell?
Being very happy about finding Hardwell right there in the locker. That's the second hook
stage. You saw him go
6.
in. It's not that impressive.
Well, I'm trying, okay? I'm trying to create hype. Stop calling me out on it.
My bad, bro.
I'll never cast with you again, I swear. This is a very nice hook stage there onto Hardwell, 40 seconds away from the elimination. 3rd generator coming out as well, and Excise is now going to be in the next chase, and we have seen on the last trial how good Excise is in running the killer with almost nothing. He doesn't need a pallet for it. Just give him something on the edge map, a rock or something, he will be fine, and he will waste some time. And we can see that here he pulled the killer all the way away from the hook stage, allowing that they are going for the full reset onto Hardwell 2. So Numinous better gets a very quick speed run down here, because otherwise this game is going to fall apart.
Yeah, and also playing that incredibly well there, Hardwell is going to be landing here. Almost seemed like some kind of... And, oh no, the Instagram could be coming out. Hardwell has to be very, very careful here. Is going to get slammed into a tree, however. Hardwell going to be out of the game. But one gen remaining, not insurmountable for these survivors in the slightest. And yeah, this is the issue when you're tunneling. As I mentioned earlier, you haven't really had the opportunity to actually use that Scourge hook to get this long-range slowdown. So Pop's going to have to be very well placed here if this killer wants a chance of staying in this series.
Yeah, it's such a difficult spot now, because if you want to profit from this elimination, you need to be able to keep the last generator under control. Unfortunately, when we are looking on the generator spread, it's kind of huge here. We have one in Shack, and then all the way down there, we have this third generator. So the survivors definitely going to celebrate a little bit when they see the setup here. We do see a lot of patience, but rather not even using this pallet yet, just walking a little bit and taking the way towards the Shack here. Usually I would say you're trying to get towards the edge map, but if it's Babbo, then he most certainly has a plan. But unfortunately, Numinous is being too quick here. They are going to team up in the distance. Not entirely sure if that's going to be enough, since Babbo kind of moved the killer towards that direction.
Yeah, honestly, right there, you actually saw good value coming out from the Unicorn Medallion add-on. That initial dash being enough to actually get past the truck, and then that second one being able to land the hit there. It didn't matter that it was a short distance. So definitely seeing the value of that add-on coming out here. And yeah, not a lot of progress actually on that gem. Relatively surprising. The Scourge hook did come through, minus 25% on it. Last week checked on it, about 50%. Not going to be opting to use the pop on it. Instead, going to be pressuring out Excise instead. But yeah, eventually it's still going to be realizing that gens are the name of the game. Can get this pop just in time. Really cut those margins thin there, Numinous, but still seems to work out regardless. Also Brutal. Just again, a little explanation for anyone maybe unfamiliar. Wesker's pretty good at anti-loop, but actually struggles weirdly enough with the relatively simple loop with the most simple loop in the game. The regular filler palette. Anything without straight lines is real struggle for Wesker to actually play around. So Brutal is often bought just to get rid of those pallets, the most problematic ones for this killer, and play these loops. Play these sort of loops with more straight lines, more to work with. Seems to be working out. Rima going to get injured. Every survivor injured now, so likely going to need a reset coming up from these survivors. But you can't reset when there's a killer hot on your heels.
Yeah, and it looks like that Ariandel was planning a little bit differently, because when we saw Bubazava going towards the Shack there, back into the mid-map towards the teammates, I was really confident that they will get the fifth generator then. And now we have all of them injured. The final generator is not coming out yet, so I feel like there was something that was falling apart on the plan, because Ariandel doesn't look as confident anymore. They do take... Well, never mind. The confidence seems to be back immediately when we mention it here, with a lot of patience by Arima onto that pallet and going for the stun, but he will be hunted down into the edge map. Excise and Babbo not being healed, so they're cranking the generator in the distance. We can only hope that this time it will be enough, and the answer is yes, we are indeed going into the end game here. So taking a couple of extra stages, but still completely fine. We have 5. If Arena would die on the hook, we would have 7. I think for Rekka's Yard Mastermind, that is still a result you can be happy with.
Yeah, certainly not the best result, but not the worst result either. And especially because both these survivors are injured, more pressure can be coming out here. Interestingly to point out, Arima did actually have Adrenaline, so not getting the immediate value of that you would have wanted because of being on the killer's shoulder. But yeah, getting unhooked now, there's no real thought of resetting. It's not quite so feasible for Numinous to simply tunnel Arima out of the game again. So Excise is the one who's injured. It does seem to be more of a case of, hey, look, I'll take what I can get. And Al actually going to be just, oh my god, disgusting play there, chucking him into a wall. And yeah, that's the that is the power of the Wesker throw. It's risky because you do risk just not getting any damage onto the survivor, but if you get it in just the right spot, there is no distance created at all. Narima in the basement with both survivors injured, yeah, just going to be leaving it out here. So I do believe that's going to be a 7-stager here for our killer. Not the greatest, not the worst in the slightest. Going to be seeing whether that's something that can be matched going to see whether that's something that can be matched for Ariandel on their killer round.
Yeah, 7 stages on 3 survivors here. So either 7 stages on 4 survivors or 8 stages are the win condition here. That's doable. On the other hand, there's a lot of room for possibilities with a win condition like that. It's definitely not as clear as the previous trial where Ariandel was absolutely smashing it. So it seems like Misery is coming a little bit back here. We will see if they can continue their upcoming dynamic, and we will find out after a short break.
And now, right again, Bubbo is back, obviously putting such a dominant performance in Dredge on our first map, and now it is going to be time to shine on the Mastermind right now. Build, relatively the same as before, but we do have different add-ons. We're going to be having the gloves, and we're going to be having the Ouroboros tendril. That's going to reduce the power of the recharge time and actually increase your movement speed while charging that bound. So these small quality of life changes for the most part. They don't really make any drastic alterations. They're just kind of making your main power better. Early hit is going to be coming through onto Ducky as well, and yeah, double dash there. But the stun there is about the best case scenario that you could have really gotten there. Going to be forcing a pallet break early, and yeah, Bubbo going to be seeing, yeah, I don't want any of this smoke.
Yeah, let's see if Bubbo can go as wild and crazy as he went on the Dredge in set 1. It seems like he's definitely aiming for it. That is a different early game compared to the previous trial where the Mastermind was losing 1 generator for the first injury. Here we have 2 injuries already after just 70 seconds into the trial, and he's not joking around. Abby is going to be downed and thrown onto very likely a Scorch Hook here, I would assume. That is just an incredible start for Bubbo, having the Pop Goes the Weasel in the back pocket as well. Now, I would say he even has enough time to camp Abby into the second stage, but knowing Bubbo, he will just use all his confidence and just going wild on the survivors.
People often forget that at any competitive level, any kind of esport, honestly, the biggest factor for most players is just confidence. Your own belief of, yeah, I don't need to camp this out. I'm just gonna, you know, win every chase, win every mind game, hit every single tech that I can. Bubbo absolutely oozing with that now. Are we allowed to call Bubbo the Michael Jordan of Dead by Daylight?
Yes.
Okay, so the Michael Jordan of Dead by Daylight is here, ladies and gentlemen. Hope we're all honored. Abby is just going to get followed now to the ends of the Earth tunnel. Going to be coming through. See if this vault can come out before time. Yeah, just about. So Endurance still sticking there. Going to be buying a little bit more time, a little bit more space for Abby to actually get the hell out of Dodge right now. But yeah, I mean, what else would you do? You're applying so much pressure so early on. Might as well just exacerbate that by trying to get rid of a survivor nice and early. Villain is going to be here to actually take the hit, but that sure as hell didn't happen. Okay, apparently Bubbo also learned how to phase through inanimate objects, which is, you know, fair play.
Absolutely. Michael Jordan now going into the basement here, getting the second hook stage already, and that is still 5 generators to go. Trying to get back up as quick as possible, but it's not going to be fast enough. 2 generators going to be completed, so Misery holding against it with all their efficiency, and if they have a long mid-game chase and keep this efficiency up, they might be able to pull something.
Yeah, but yeah, exactly as we said though, Bubbo not gonna be a slouch here in the slightest there. Life was used there, got essentially nothing, and now that's just an injure. Bubbo gonna be just kind of sticking to this middle area here. Obviously committing to maybe the odd injure or so, the infection on any stray survivor. Just for some more slowdown. Force the survivors to get those sprays, make sure it's time they can't really be working on the generators, but meantime, Abby hanging in the basement, and yeah, Bubbo just going to be camping this one out. Safe does actually come through. Not sure if Abby's going to be long for this world. This just seems like cyberbullying. Actually able to get through, so not quite as bad, so, I don't know. Michael Jordan, not the bully that we all thought he was at the end of the day, but no, instead, going to be going down. It is Ducky instead. Bubbo sure as hell doesn't care, though. It's just going to be committing to getting Abby out of the game. And it seems to be successful.
Michael Jordan going a little bit chill on the survivors for a second, letting them breathe, and we do have the elimination regardless. Ducky will be picked up though, but will they make it out of the shack? If Bubble is already rushing back with the power, it might not be a lot of distance they get to take, and there's going to be Ducky now in the 1v1 with Michael, Bubazava, Jordan in this very difficult spot actually, since the pallet is now dropped. That's going to be the quick down, and it seems like Babo doesn't have enough, wants to apply the pop goes to Weasel, at least considers it, trying to catch a survivor. Now has seen that the area is safe. We do see a little bit of spraying here. Spider is taking a lot of risk here, staying with the status effect while working on the generator. It is going to be the regression through Pop Goes the Weasel and Scorch Hook, and I'm very skeptical if Bubble would move all the way over there. I don't think he will make that gen in time.
Yeah, I mean, it is just going to be working out here on, it is going to be working out here for Bubble here. Just trying to continue to run special. Spider, obviously infected, injured, going to be a very rough chase here. And yeah, just going to be going down. What more do you expect? You're moving 8% slower against, well, Bubba's out for blood. You can sure as hell see it. Another hook that's going to be coming through. Scourge Hook 2 as well, so get that pressure down. And now you're also kind of getting a vibe of which generators are most progressed, which ones you need to pay attention to, which ones you can leave for a little bit longer. You're in a really good position right now if you're Bubba. In a performance comparable to Michael Jordan in Game 6 of the 1998 NBA Finals, we have Bubba Zava killing people on Wesker. I think they're comparable performances.
Absolutely, and Spider here trying to help a little bit, but they're both in a difficult position. Ducky is the chosen one, going to be put into the injured state. Spider collecting the status effect of the power there as well. Villain is the only untouched and unharmed survivor at the moment. Bubuzava rotating back towards the generator here, but catches a survivor. He has better eyes than me, and I'm even wearing glasses. Jesus Christ, I didn't see this dead right here. We do see the jump over the pallet and a little bit of looping here. Who's going to be stronger? Not falling for the fake. Wazavra has, Michael Jordan actually has too much patience for this. That's going to be a quick injury here as well. And I feel like Misery right now just trying to keep up with the pressure Bubble is applying, but not really being able to.
At the end of the day, you've only got so many of these first aid sprays, and with the rate at which infections are going out onto these individuals, nice stun there is able to actually stop over his tracks for just a moment. Yeah, really nice play against this. It's not a particularly safe pallet, but the life there are actually going to be working incredibly well. Just able to get around the corner, but yeah, that's the issue. And I think that was the add-on coming through, the Brown Ouroboros Tendril add-on. You can move slightly faster when charging that bound up, so you're actually able to get through there. Jet pressured out on the other side. Seems like it's not actually going to be completed, as the hook does come out onto Spider as well. And yeah, right now Bubbo in a strong commanding position. Not quite the dominance that we saw on the very first map of the day on Midwich, but still incredibly strong.
Absolutely, yeah. Ducky, Villain, and Spider, the remaining survivors seem to take some confidence here after Numinous was putting up a good killer game, but we are only a few stages away from deciding this best of 3 towards Ariandel here, and it looks very, very difficult for them. They have a lot of injured survivors. They have 2 more generators to do, and Spider not even getting around the corner here is going to be thrown onto the hook. 7 stages now on this side of Bubba, and that's the next elimination as well. So the next hook stage is going to seal the deal, I believe, because we had all 4 survivors onto the hook. If I'm not, no, 1 survivor is still fresh, but the next one is going to push us if it's the fresh hook, and otherwise we just need an elimination. So they need a perfect game from now on, and I really hope they have some progress generators here and there, because otherwise it will be difficult.
Yeah, you need perfection while you are both injured against Bubbo on Wesker. Certain things in the universe simply aren't meant to be, and right now it's looking very much more likely that the but the fabled win is going to be coming through. It's actually going to be juking there, dodging the dash right there. You can see the little thing in the top right pointing it out as well, in case you couldn't quite catch it. But yeah, able to get through the window there. Nice play as well. Ducky actually doing a phenomenal job right now, playing really awkward, but getting punched inside a locker. I think Wesker wasn't happy with the comments I made last time about the locker, so he's decided to start punching people through lockers instead. I guess that makes sense.
Absolutely, it does, even though I'm not talking about lockers anymore, especially not hype, because you're going to take it from me again. So I'm avoiding lockers for the rest of the stream here. But Villain in the final run, Misery going to have a final showcasing, and that's going to be with the balanced landing and a nice dodge, though. I feel like that was a great finisher of the winter circuit here, because Misery unfortunately going to leave us today. Villain and Ducky being on the ground, Bubasavre just needs to throw them onto the hook here. So Ariandel, you mentioned it earlier, Actor. How did they drop here? And it was actually a huge surprise last week when Synapse was pulling it, because Ariandel here was obviously one of the top teams, one of the top seeds. We can see that today. So it was anticipated that they are taking the win, I would say, but we have to be fair to Misery. They showed up an absolute fantastic fight, and I feel like they can be very proud of themselves.
Yeah, I mean, you're going against some of the best players let's be blunt, in the world at this point. And yeah, that Dredge game on Midwich was pretty one-sided, unfortunate, unlucky, bad, whatever word you want to describe to use it. But putting in a pretty good performance on Wesker here, so not trying to dissuade them in future tournaments. But yeah, at the end of the day, sheer overwhelming power of Ariandel and Michael Bubozava Jordan going to be helping out as well. Ariandel, going to be taking this series. Clean 2-0 affair.
Absolutely. Ariandel playing out of their mind. Bubasavre. We don't want to not cherish the rest of Ariandel. They played fantastic. We mentioned it here and there. Excise looping with absolutely nothing. Arima playing great chases whenever he's in chase. Nightlight on the roster not even playing today, a very, very known one. So all of the players from Ariandel absolutely out of their mind. Le Magic, Excise, Babbo. Well done, but Babbo is someone, our Michael Jordan, who's getting a little bit of an MVP sticker today just for this Dredge game. Actor.